Hey Gary, welcome to the Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. My name is Buddy Pulley, joined of course by my co-host Seth Dolby. Chuck he's pooping. I'm not gonna mince words here. He'll be here in a minute. But we had to get this show on the road because I gotta exit stage left here in a little bit. And I before we came on, I was in an okay mood. It was a pretty shitty weekend. I watched Shane and Daniel both get eliminated after Shane won the pole for both races and failed to win. And I was thinking, I was like, man, at least Alex Bowman's in the playoffs. And then Seth, informed me, oh,
I did not.
He's not. He's out. And, it's a sad day. So,
I didn't say anything about Alex Bowman.
Seth told me and crushed my dreams. And then I just found out they didn't appeal either. So.
Oh, so it's that bad.
Yeah. So,
it
was maybe the worst weekend of my entire life going to races.
Yeah.
This was, we ran the board on just shit. Like
Sunday night after the race, I'm sitting there in the Steak and Shake with Chuck and my brother and Chuck's two siblings, or two of his 46 siblings. I'm not exactly sure. And, all of a sudden, Buddy starts calling me. I was like, oh boy. Like this could be.
I actually called Seth.
Yeah. I was like, this could be several things. And I really hope it doesn't involve me getting in and driving.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
What were running through the odds in your head? What was it that I had another flat tire?
Oh, I was pretty much convinced that you had a flat tire and you needed
If you
help.
guys don't know, I've had like 7 flat tires.
Hi, Chuck.
Hello, Chuck. How was your poop?
What are you talking about?
Allegedly.
That is a legend.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was telling the story about when we found out about Bowman's disqualification. So yeah, all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I answer, and Buddy's like, well, you won't fucking believe it. And I'm like, no way, Kyle got DQ'd. And then he goes, Alex Bowman just got DQ'd. I was like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah. We cleaned the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
my favorite comment out of the whole thing, I think, was Joey Logano has plot armor in even years. And I feel that's
I got
relevant.
a text from my buddy Pierre Clark. He said I didn't even, he sent me like 3 texts back to back, and all I saw was the first one, and you're gonna understand why. He goes, well, it's an even year. Joey Logano is like Jason. He won't fucking die.
I think my exact quote to Seth was, damn, this even year Joey Logano dude really is fucking inevitable, huh?
Yeah.
Clutch even when he's not.
I'm just sad, man.
Joseph had to make a phone call. He was like, I can't have my streak in like this.
Yeah, that's gotta be, see, what drives me crazy about the whole thing is it's like you didn't even need to have a great day.
No.
Like you had to have the day they had, which was I mean, they probably could have been a little
done
worse
that anyway.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have been a little worse too. And it's just they just flew too close to the sun for literally no reason. Even if the piece that flew off the car that everyone was showing is what did it, then that sucks.
You don't know wild stat.
What?
Cumulatively, count all the years of Kevin Harvick, and then, when I started rooting for Bowman and Suarez and Van Gisbergen, I've watched my favorite driver get eliminated. Been at the race to watch them get eliminated 9 times.
Pretty good track record.
Yeah.
Sucks.
You're doing really good, buddy.
Yeah. We'll get to the journalistic aspect of this show or whatever we like to call it later. I'm just pissed. This sucks.
So are you counting 3 for this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
The Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval woke up on Saturday morning and said, you know what?
We're going to fuck Buddy Pulley's day
I don't
up.
like this Buddy Pulley guy. I'm going to drop my nuts on him all weekend long. And it did.
I was like, all right, all right, I need Bowman to make it. Suarez can make it. Van Gisbergen can make it. Or at least Shane will probably win one of those races. No. Anyway,
it became never mind. We'll get to all that.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about me. Yeah, so obviously Alex was too light, and that was why they got DQ'd. And Hendrick has won what I feel like every other appeal that they've placed, and they decided not to place one.
Which tells me it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, which tells me that probably been a piece of tungsten that fell out when he went sky high over the curb out of the last corner.
See, when I looked at that, it didn't look like tungsten to me because it usually like comes out in pieces when it falls out, or at least the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
And usually it's like really obvious. It's all over the racetrack. And
exactly.
then, you know, NASCAR tells them they got to put it back in. And it looked more to me like a piece of the underbody.
That's probably, yeah,
Yeah.
inevitably what it was. But it wasn't a. Here's the thing, though. People are. Clarify this for me. I don't know if either of y'all know. So he was 17 pounds short, or they're allowed to be 17 pounds short?
They're allowed to be 17 pounds light.
Okay, so we don't know how much he was short.
So he was at least 17.01 pounds short, would be my understanding of it.
Okay, because, yeah, all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, even if that isn't tungsten or whatever the hell flew off the car there, that very well could have been it. And they could have been a pound light. And they could have just been way too close to the edge for what they had at stake.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that either way. It sucks because, you know, Alex has been through a lot of shit this year. And he's done a pretty good job. And, you know, I'll give Denny Hamlin credit. He's kind of defended him a little bit. You know, he had the same kind of back injury back in 2013. He was like, it takes a year and a half to fully recover from this. And here we are, we're right at that about a year and a half mark. And Bowman, really, they've turned up the wick in the playoffs. And, you know, he's put a lot of the rumors that he's getting replaced to bed, and he's performed. And yeah, this happened. So
it's pretty, I would honestly, this is probably the most unfortunate playoff elimination, I think, maybe in the playoff era, just solely due to the fact that I think they've been the best overall team in the playoff.
Really? Because I feel like Kevin Harvick getting eliminated in 2020 was pretty fucking devastating.
Sure, but at least that was in the round of 8. I mean, to have run the 5 races previous they had to this one and run this one okay and do fine and point in with where they were and then find out afterward, that's brutal. At least Harvick just didn't make it. He didn't find out in post that he didn't make it.
He also fenced himself in Texas.
No, he didn't. He literally,
that's a
literally
terrible
the
take,
rain.
Charles.
What?
Chuck woke up today and chose violence.
Yeah, and he also lost to the guy who is now in Joey Logano, Kansas. But like we said, he just won't fucking die. Like I don't get it. How this mid-ass Connecticut motherfucker, and that is slander to all Connecticutans. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what it's going to be.
Definitely not. But
I think they're just called Northeasterners.
No, I mean, I know people. Hey, look, we got friends in the Northeast, but we don't have friends in Connecticut because they produce Joey Logano.
What are we defining as the Northeast?
For what it's worth, they don't claim Joey Logano.
Okay, anyway.
Stafford.
So Joey Logano's in. I guess we'll go over the playoff standings while we're on this topic. Kyle Larson won the race. Greatest race car driver in the world. Won 6 races this year.
Hey, so
shocker. He's at the top of the standings. Plus 33. Christopher Bell is plus 13. Tyler Reddick is plus 10. William Byron's 4th, plus 4. Ryan Blaney, 4 points below the cut line. Denny Hamlin is 6th, 8 points below. Chase Elliott is 7th, 9 points below. And Joey Logano is 8th, 11 points below the cut line. So, I mean, do we want to just get it out of the way? Do we want to pick our final 4?
Sure.
We can.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna pull it up and look at it again. You guys go first.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Denny Hamlin.
I'm going to go. Man, this is tough. This is tough. I'm going to go Larson, Bell, Hamlin. Fuck. Reddick. I don't feel good about it, but that's who I'm going with.
I will go with Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson. I think I said Bell first because I think he wins one of the next two races. So Bell, Larson.
This is tough. Like, this is tough.
So it's like,
I mean, because you look at it. Chase Elliott's a sleeper. Byron's a sleeper.
the
Joey's
only problem
Joey.
with Chase is like, I feel like he has to have a fantastic run at both Martinsville and Vegas and potentially win one because he's never, at least as far as I'm remembering, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he's ever been all that great at Homestead.
He's never been all that great at Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Their track record in Vegas is poor.
Bad.
Yeah.
So that's what makes, I want to say Chase, but that's what makes me shy away from Chase. And see if, but I'll say that and then he'll go win Martinsville. Like he can just go win there if Hendrick gives him the
Any
course.
of these guys can go win any of the next three races.
So I'll say Bell and Larson for sure. Ryan Blaney, because he's good, especially at the final two races in this round. And I will say Chase Elliott.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I think Toyota finds a way to screw this up.
I could see Chase getting in. Like he does have an 11.5 average finish for the season. So they've been super consistent, which we've seen guys just super consistent their way into the Final Four. I mean, Chase in 22 was a pretty big example of that.
Guys, but think about how many playoff points he had.
It's true.
He's got what, 6? Like, I have no clue how many he actually has, but I mean, not many. It's
not much more than it's either that or it's not much more. But I kind of feel like I haven't paid much attention. I haven't noticed him much throughout the playoffs at all anyway, and he's not even been close. I guess at one point yesterday he was close.
He hasn't been close. He won Texas, and that's the only time he's been close this year.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you guys some insight into how I came to the conclusion of those. I actually think Kyle Larson points his way in.
You don't think he wins one of the next two races?
I don't.
I think
he'll be top. I might even say he'll be top 3 in the next two races. I'll just say it. I think Bell wins Vegas, Blaney wins Homestead, and Chase wins Martinsville, and Kyle points his way in.
All right, if we're doing that, then I'll go. I think Reddick wins Vegas. I think Bell wins Homestead again, and I think Kyle Larson wins Martinsville.
Okay.
I mean, it could happen. Larson's finished top 2 3 times in the next year at Martinsville. So
look, they've been too spotty. I think he'll probably have to he'll go into Martinsville. He's not going to go in below the cut line, but I think he's
spotty.
As far as like being able to
inconsistent.
Just inconsistent. Yeah,
sure,
that's what I meant by that.
I mean, I think the numbers are a little deceiving for them in the playoffs so far.
Oh, absolutely. They've had a lot of shit. Yeah, but like it keeps happening. So I'm.
But you think more about it. I think if you look more into it, I don't think it's as concerning as maybe it might look. Because obviously he wrecked on his own at Atlanta. We don't have a super speedway style race in this round. They ran bad at Watkins Glen. We don't have a road course in this round. And then obviously they had an unfortunate day at Kansas. That could obviously happen again, but the likelihood's low for that to happen.
Look, past 2 rounds, he's screwed up in the first 2 races and then had to go win. Not had to go win. He hadn't had to go win any of them, but and gone to win.
I mean, the trajectory he's on says he's going to win next week and the week after. I mean, like this year is kind of parallel in a lot of ways, paralleling 21.
Yeah.
In a lot.
I
honestly,
saw
he could win.
somewhere.
He could win all of the next 3.
Yeah,
he could.
And it wouldn't shock me at all.
I saw a stat somewhere. I don't know. It's making me mad that I can't remember the exact stat, but it was like drivers' finishes compared to their average running position. And it was like everybody was grouped together. And then like 10 spots down was the 5 car.
Yeah.
That's the worry with Kyle, is that they've been the best car all year long and they find a way to screw it half the time. And they don't have, I mean, they do. They're the only car on this list that can really afford to have a bad race, but you can't afford to have 2.
Yeah.
Especially not with this group that you're going up against.
Yeah.
I think y'all are sleeping on, I don't appreciate y'all sleeping on Joey Logano for the simple fact that he is going to make the round of 4.
So the only reason I didn't is because
whether I say
Ryan
he
Blaney
is or not,
Joey Logano Jr. And I picked Blaney. And Ryan Blaney is Joey Logano Jr., Joey Logano 2.0, and I picked Blaney instead. That's
why I picked both of them.
Okay. All right. I guess let's talk about the race. In my opinion, this was the best Roval race with the next gen era, but that doesn't mean it was good.
I think you need to sit in a better spot. I think it was a decent race. I think it was a solid race.
Well, okay. I think it was a fine race. I think we saw some, like really good ones at the beginning of the Roval era, and this one was just meh. Definitely the best one of the next gen era.
I mean, definitely, but
I think both changes to the track were good. Good.
I want to talk about that as separate, as something separate.
Yeah.
My take on the race itself is it's a good point to say that the Gen 6 races here were significantly better, because they were, but that's most places. So I don't think that's saying much. When you look at it in a short-term memory aspect of the last 2 years here with this car, those races weren't watchable. And this was. I at least wasn't bored out of my effing mind sitting there like, when is this going to be over? Like you said, it
well, no,
wasn't,
I wanted it to be over, but not for that reason.
And it wasn't like I think that partially had something to do with where I was sitting. Because I was sitting in probably the most exciting place to sit, actually, which is funny, because those seats won't be the cheapest seats much longer.
You got to think, I was sitting there moping the entire damn day.
This is true.
Like, I was not having a good time.
There was, unlike the 2 years past, there was at least something to watch most of the time. It wasn't always for the lead, because, Kyle kicked everybody's ass again. But like, whether it was for 12th or 15th or something, every time somebody came by me, I was like, oh, okay, I can watch that. I can watch that. Like, it wasn't 22. I was sitting there like, this sucks. And I wasn't doing that this year.
22 was one of the most brutal experiences of my life. But no, I mean, even if you take something at the end of the race in stage 3 of the 16 and the 13, taking tires and coming up through the field, that was fun. I had a lot of fun paying attention to those guys, and obviously keeping up with them getting around the 22 and thinking that actually had an effect on anything.
Let me backtrack a little bit. Yeah, because I'm starting to think of things and more from an objective point of view. And I mean, Reddick going through the field. Obviously, Shane was able to drive through. Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things. Like, who knows? Bristol might not have been a bad race, and Kyle just dominated.
No, Bristol was a bad race.
Yeah, Bristol was a bad race.
I also think we probably got robbed, because I think, I'm not saying one was significantly better than the other. I think the 13 and the 5 were very equal, and I think we got robbed of seeing that play out throughout the day.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was, I mean, there was more action than there was the past couple of years, but it was mainly due to the turn. But I mean, if you really look at it like that, some of it was guys fucking up, which we haven't seen guys be able to do. So I guess, I'll backtrack on that one. Yeah.
You want to talk about the changes specifically?
Yeah, let's do that. Obviously they made the change to turn 7. I think we were all in agreement. So this was a change to create Coda style dive bombs, and we saw that, but it worked effectively. Like, I mean, yeah, we saw spins and stuff in that, but it was a lot of like guys screwing up, not necessarily guys taking people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sally.
Oh, I think what they were trying to achieve worked. The accusation, I think, from the beginning was, oh, you're trying to make it, turn into a shit show. And, credit to the drivers, they never let it turn into that. Even on, like, there were tons of opportunities on restarts to,
Except for one.
yeah, it happened at one time. But even then you could kind of see how it, like, occurred, and it wasn't like the dumbest thing I've ever seen or anything.
Oh, sorry.
Tyler Reddick was an absolute piss missile in it, and Martin Truex Jr. has run out of fucks to give.
Dude, I was gonna, I'll save
I tell you what,
my thoughts on that for later.
My selling point on it too was the guys that were making big moves and able to make it work were the best on the road courses. Yeah. It wasn't guys running over their head, and you saw the guys that ran over the head, they bust their ass.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger and Kyle Larson,
I can't tell you how many times Shane took it 3 wide in there and got 2 for 1.
Yeah,
like it happened in Xfinity. I got a great picture that Taylor Kitchen took of me, like pointing because I'm like, look, he's going 3 wide, and he's swooped. I mean, masterclass, and you can listen more about that analysis on the rundown from Down Under later this week.
That pass he made in the Cup race on Logano at the end of the race was that was slick. That was so slick. Just the way he set him up, made Joey run it poorly in an attempt to defend, and then just park it on exit and just not let him get back to him was really fun to watch. I think Kyle Larson did something similar. I can't remember who it was.
AJ.
It might have been
for the lead. And then Logano at the beginning, but he did it to AJ for the lead later in the race.
Yeah, the one on AJ was actually more slick, I think, just because he did that where he got by him and then like parked it on the exit. And there you could see the skill, the thought behind it and the skill to it. It wasn't just I'm gonna dive as hard as I can and do this, that, and the other. He kind of roughed Joey up early in the race, but it's Joey. I don't care.
So my thoughts on it was that's where I've sat both times I've been. Both times I've been to a next gen Roval race. Obviously, last year I was doing media, so I was in the infield. It's actually it makes that section more enjoyable to watch, not just because of that corner, but because it actually speeds up the entire section. Like they're carrying, it's actually really cool to watch them because they come over that hill and they're carrying a ton of speed. And there's a couple guys that got out of shape. I don't know the corner numbers off the top of my head, but when they 6 and 7.
Yeah, 6 and 7.
Well, it's almost off camber too, and you're coming off camber downhill and trying to break into this hairpin.
Like I watched one time, Alex came through and he just about busted his ass through 6, just trying to set himself up for 7. So that made that whole section entertaining. And then the guys locking up, going into 7, dive bombs into 7. There was some couple idiots. I'll get to them later. But I doubt those seats are going to be the cheapest seats there for much longer because I bought them last second. I was like, give me the cheapest thing you got. And it was probably the best place to sit because the only place I couldn't see was 3 and 4. So I thought sitting there made it increasingly more enjoyable to watch. Now I'll go ahead and lead into the changes to 16 and 17. I personally did not like those.
Why?
And maybe I need to watch it from a different angle. But my perspective, I could see it, but it was like a head-on shot for me. And it just like, from what I watched there and what I saw on the big screen, they made the corner a lot tighter to where it's like you can't really run side by side through there without somebody going absolutely airmail flying over a turtle.
So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and refute this. I've sat there every year of the Roval. I've sat right past start finish line. That is by far the most passive I've ever seen in that section.
Really?
That is the most passives I've ever seen. And that's most times I've seen people run too wide. Because it was just, they were too, it was too much. It was too fast. And they've slowed it down. I mean, I saw Shane make a ton of passes in that turn. And I saw Shane
We
and
can't use Shane as a barometer. He passes
that's
in
true.
areas no one else knows how.
But yeah, that's true. But I also saw a lot of guys be able to pass through there. And a lot of guys before you couldn't always cross a guy over just
Yeah.
because of the way it was. The corners are longer because you guys didn't notice um they essentially it kind of made it to where instead of it coming straight and it's a straight chicane, you kind of veer back towards pit road and then cut in, and it's a longer short shoot back to the left, back onto the front stretch.
They just made that more pronounced, right? Because it was always
Yeah,
kind of like that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I think for that reason it worked because I think you were able to get set and cross a guy over in the last turn there, whereas I don't think you couldn't do that as well before. So I mean, I thought both, like I said, I thought
How
both
did you
chances
feel like it affected the restarts?
I don't feel like it affected it really much at all.
I feel like it gave the outside a little more of an advantage on the restarts.
Yeah, I will say that.
Yeah. So whether that's a positive or negative, I don't really know.
I think they should go back to
That's what I was going to say. Do you think they should just go back to going through the regular quad oval? Because it almost felt like it took away. That was my other thing. Is it almost felt like it took away from restarts because the leader, except for that one time Shane hung with Kyle, the leader always got the jump, and there was no real, like, not going to say excitement. That sounds cheesy, but there was no real suspense. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? It was, well, the leader's going to clear.
As someone who's gotten really sick of watching, races turn into shit shows, especially on restarts, I'm fine with a system that allows the leader to get a big jump. I think the leader's earned it. I think he deserves to get a big jump simply by being in the preferred lane. I think it's fairer that way. And even then, like, I think so the Charlotte Roval, with the addition of the next gen car, a lot of the deficiencies of the track started to show up more just because you had more capability in the car pretty much. And I feel like these changes just kind of helped that a lot. Like we added 2 more big braking zones in the car, and then the backstretch chicane has already been one of the better places to pass in the next gen era. So I feel like we've just made our best passing zones better. I think that's what we did.
I do also want to point this out too. I think a lot of things that played into turn 6 and the lead up to it is how it's off camber coming around I'll call it the carousel. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's off camber, and I think the lower profile tire, it actually helps make it harder to drive because I mean you only have so much slip in the tire that and so like you get out of shape a whole lot more than you would have probably with the old tire. I think that might be point one of this whole next gen experiment for the new tire, but
we got one.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually like at least noticeable tire wear.
Yeah.
Not spectacular, but like if a guy had a 10,
I think the reason
tire advantage, you could tell.
You gotta go back to the restart thing, close that out. I think the reason I was wanting more is I needed a lot of chaos there at the end for anything to go right for me in the world. So yeah. There was a lemonade cup that our friend Ryan had sitting there, and I was looking at that thing for the last like 10 laps, like, can I launch this thing over the fence? Like, I really need a caution right now.
Buddy, sacrificing his.
Do I really want to come back to Charlotte Motor Speedway? Like, I got a lot of adrenaline and anger, but I could probably get that thing over the fence.
Was it empty?
No.
Still? He had that thing early in the race. He still hadn't finished it?
I think it was just, I don't know.
I don't know. As soon as it got hot, he was like, I'm done. I ain't drinking it.
I would have filled it up.
My guess.
Yeah. You'd have filled it up.
Anyway,
you would have filled it up so you could throw it.
So that's the race. I guess Kyle Larson, let's revisit the topic of how he's the greatest race car driver in the world.
That's more your domain.
Okay. He's the greatest race car. Dude, he's so fucking good. We say it all the time. Well, I say it all the time. He's so fucking good. Like when they are on it, they are as good as Chad and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not even close. And if they could ever keep that, I mean, it's
I
gonna be
will
something
say,
special. Championships be damned. I mean, just the amount of wins. I mean, he's got 6 wins this year. Who else has more? What? Denny has 3.
Denny
Denny and Bell.
Denny,
and
Bell,
Byron.
and Byron have 3. Yeah.
Does Denny technically have 3?
Yes, he
He
does.
has three in the notch. Yeah. He doesn't have all the points from those, but he does have 3 wins.
Yeah. I mean,
This is easily, I saw somebody say this earlier. I was talking, I was trying to stretch stuff. This is the first time anybody's really had a dominant season that stands out above the rest in the next gen era. And I know William Byron won 6 races, but it wasn't like this. Kyle's led double the amount of laps of anybody else in the field this year. Yeah.
dude, if you look at 2021 and like not take anything away from that year because it was a spectacular year, one of the greatest years we've seen in modern era NASCAR. But the stranglehold that Hendrick had built up over the entire Gen 6 era and the lack of competition really with the 550 package, it was a little, show up and kick their ass, just keep doing what we've been doing, status quo. Whereas in the next gen era, I mean, obviously it's been more competitive, which is funny to say that because 2021 there actually were a comparable amount of wins. But I mean, any given week there could be, 25 different guys that could, figure out a way to win the damn race. And Kyle has just been, it's just so much better than everybody else. Like, I mean,
I said this was going to happen.
okay.
I know there's video evidence of me saying it was going to happen.
No, I mean, you did. Yeah.
Another stat for you. This is actually the first time since the Olympic break that any racing organization, not just specific to the 5 team, but Hendrick Motorsports is now the first team to win a second race since the Olympic break. And they were both Kyle.
Yeah.
In dominating fashion.
Like I said, man, Cliff and Kyle together. I mean, they look like Jimmy's jizz out there, all grown up, just winning as many races as he once did. He won at Indy and Charlotte. Fuck you, Rain. Like,
yeah.
Didn't do it the way we were hoping he would do it early in the season, but hey, it counts. Either
How's
way.
it feel, Seth? He's won 3 races this year that you were at.
It's like half as many as last year. So like he's got some work to do.
Yeah, bro, catch up. Jeez.
No, I mean, like, it's like I felt it's gotten almost like routine, if that makes any sense. Like,
fuck you.
I mean, like, I'm serious.
Fuck you.
I'm serious. Like, I wasn't nervous at any point yesterday. He won the race.
You.
And I was just like, yeah. I mean, because, like, here's the thing is they should. They're so fucking good. They should go out there and do this.
I was thinking back on it, too. I was thinking about this on the way home. Like, how many times you've seen Larson win? And I was thinking about, I was like, all the times I saw my driver win. I can't remember a race where Harvick or anybody else I like went out and just dominated. It's always some shit, and it's got to put some gray hair in my beard and hair. Like, I mean,
those are the more fun ones, though.
No, they're not. I just want one where they just
they create more memories.
No, like, I remember if Kevin or Alex, Shane, Daniel went out and just kicked their ass.
I know it's a small sample size, but I only saw Carl win once. And when he won Darlington, that was like a comeback for the ages. He was 2 laps down with 90 to go. And like all that for him to circle back around and win the race. That's what like made that so cool to me as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, he was 2 laps down and then he won the race. I don't know. I think that would be cooler than watching your driver whoop up on everybody. Because there's no like suspense in that. It's not like you're waiting. You're more like waiting. When's it going to get screwed up?
I mean, I will dispute to some extent what Chuck is saying. Because no, I mean it's pretty damn cool to watch your guy just go out and just mollywop him. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
But also,
like I said, small sample size.
Must be nice.
But the ones where they had to fight for it a lot are definitely more memorable in the long run. So like the 2021 Bristol night race is always going to be more memorable than this past year's. And the 2021 Roval is going to be more memorable than this one.
Buddy.
For reasons that both of them actually for reasons that really don't have anything to do with Kyle Larson.
I should have thought of that. Poor buddy.
But I mean, even you take the Southern 500 last year, did that hurt you, buddy?
Dude, yeah,
see,
all right. Everybody's gonna come through the screen.
No, I'm really glad that
your ass.
I'm really glad Harvick's retired, so we don't have to do this one anymore. It was like for a while there, it was like always Harvick had something go wrong and Kyle won the race.
I mean, we kind of got it today or yesterday.
Kind of, but like none of that had anything to do with Kyle winning the race. Like that, both things could have happened.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Shane could have won and Kyle.
I mean, at least Bowman didn't win. Like if he won and then got DQ'd from the win after that, that would be way worse, I would think.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, like there was no, like even when Kyle was running second behind Shane, there was like really no doubt in my mind because I was like, the 13 team is not going to be able to keep up with the 5 team on pit lane. And I mean, they couldn't.
16 pit crew.
Well, sure. I didn't think the 16 pit crew would be able to keep up with 5 team on pit road.
Yeah, I mean.
So it was like, I was like, they're going to pit and they're going to get out way in front of them. And actually, they got out farther ahead of them than I thought they would. I was like, yeah, this is going to take us some serious bullshit to happen.
I just needed a caution with 10 to go. Preferably, I needed that caution to be the 16 car.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. I don't think it would have changed anything, but I wouldn't want to take the risk.
All right. Anyway, that's the Roval Cup edition, I guess. Xfinity race. I guess we'll talk about the big thing. Parker Kligerman came within about the length of Chuck's dick from getting to the start finish line.
That's actually not that bad if you think about it.
Is that like a humble brag there, Chuck?
Can't say nothing. Can't say nothing.
All right. So anyway, the caution comes out for whoever the fuck, like balls deep in the tire barrier. Like
who was it? Leland Honeyman or someone?
I think, yeah.
So I'm not going to get into combat much on this because I didn't watch it, but I just want to share my experience. I'm sitting there in turn 1 at Tri-County, hanging out, watching the Barstool race because I wasn't working. You wouldn't know that if you look at our Grassroots channel. But anyway, a buddy of mine that I'm with is like, dude, look at this. Parker Kligerman just got screwed because Leland Honeyman was going like balls deep into the barriers in turn 3. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, where's the car? There's no way that happened at the same moment they threw the yellow. And then I found out again. So.
Yeah. There was a lot. I mean, because they threw the yellow, he's 5 feet from the line, 15 seconds after they showed it on TV. The excuse was the race director. There's a guy watching the broadcast who has to relay it to the race director, who then has to make the decision to put out the caution. And they're like, that's why it took so long. Okay, but it probably takes a little bit for the NBC camera guy to relay up to the NBC truck that, hey, there's a car in the barrier, put a camera on it.
Didn't take him very long in the Daytona 500.
No.
Actually, it took him about half a second.
I'm not, it's not groundbreaking information. Caution definitely should have come out. 100%. Like, should have come out. It's just, damn. Why add insult to injury? Like,
yeah, I mean, typical NASCAR, their reason is we didn't see it right away. Again, what is the race director looking at exactly? Because they showed it on I don't remember what they call the big screen at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I almost called it Big Hoss. It's not. Colossus. That's Bristol, dumbass.
No, it's cool. I was thinking because
What, Charlotte?
dirt,
I don't think there's.
Do they not have an anyway?
The
It
dirt
doesn't matter. It
race
doesn't
at
matter
Webb,
anyway. They showed it
there's
on
a
the big.
correlation there.
They showed it on the TV. We all saw it. So, like, if the race director's like looking outside at the racetrack, he should see it. Even if he sees it on the TV, if he sees it actually happen, whatever, he should see it. It's a terrible excuse. And to be honest, I know we got different directors, this, that, and the other. I don't really care. A caution should be a caution no matter what a caution is. So we've set a precedent that honestly, it should not have been a caution until the leaders are coming up on him. We set that precedent earlier this year at the Brickyard. So you can make the argument that it should not have been a caution until that point, which would have been after the white flag and Parker got screwed.
Yeah, I just can't wait for this lawsuit to go through. NASCAR open up their books and we can see how much money they're actually making for them not to be able to afford corner workers at every track and afford one race director every week. And, just any of, the X, Y, or Z reasons why they keep making these mistakes.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. That's
Hey, at least they didn't let the whole field go by him at speed like 1.5 times before they threw the yellow. That happened this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Just not in a NASCAR race.
Oh, well, they let the field go by Sheldon Creed in that same race. He was going like maybe 10 miles an hour. That doesn't seem very safe.
I don't know. I had a slight meltdown at the end of that race, but I do hate it for Parker. That was going to be a hell of a way to get your first win. But
yeah, that would have been a cool one.
Yeah. Yep. Other than that, we got anything else? Huh?
Not particularly.
Okay. Let's do sundress, dumbass, and picks.
I'll go first on sundress.
Oh, sundress and dumbass. That's what we do. I'm sorry.
That is how we do that.
Sundress. I'm gonna go with just Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not even necessarily the track, because the track's facilities could use some work, but just
all SMI facilities could use some work.
But aside from that, just the Charlotte. No matter if the races were bad, good, rain short, and whatever, it's always a fun atmosphere, and it's always the biggest feeling of community, at least for me, because I got all my friends there.
What about humidity shortened races?
Okay, that too. I got all my friends there. I got Chuck and Seth, and we got Ryan, and our buddy Martin was there. We got all the security guards. Shout out to Paul for listening to the show. We've known those security guards there for 15 years. I mean, we got, Taylor Kitchen, got to hang out with her. Peter, obviously,
Peter,
just, a bunch of, friends, Nicole and Michael that I met last year at RCR Fan Day. Just so many people at Charlotte, everybody.
Hey, even Chunk showed up. My brother.
Even Chunk showed up. Yeah. I don't know, man. Just shout out to all my friends at Charlotte. Just as shitty of a weekend as it was a very fun weekend just to see all the people. And it's always a fun weekend at Charlotte for that reason, because I feel like it's I get a lot of communal vibes. Charlotte. Yeah.
Guys, you want to go next, or you want me?
I want you to go. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing for Sunday.
I'll make them quick. I do have two. I just want to shout out both these things. Number one, I'm also going to say Charlotte Motor Speedway for continuing to have the Roval. I thought about this. So many people hate on it. And I know the racing there hasn't been the greatest, but I think the people that hate on it should go first, because it truly is a one-of-a-kind experience where you get to watch a road course race, and from 75% from every seat there, you can see 75% of the racetrack. You don't get that at any other road course event, period. You just don't. It's all right there in front of you. There's always something to look at somewhere. It's like almost so much that even an ADHD child like my little sister who went to her first race on Sunday had something to look at the entire time. She was never bored. So I appreciate the Roval for what it is. It's not always the greatest race, but it's unique, and I think we should keep it. My other one is Caden Honeycutt, because on Saturday night at Tri-County Speedway, while I witnessed, I'll just say it, one of the dumbest officiating mistakes I've ever seen by the Cars Tour, and by anybody, really. He called
tune into On Tour for
we'll dive
all the
into
analysis.
that one.
Yeah.
But he called his shot and knew he won the race and knew he got screwed. And he parked it in victory lane. And about 15 minutes later, he was officially the winner. So shout out Caden, because that was funny.
Solid.
All right, I'm going to make my sundress turn 7. I had a fun time with turn 7 all day.
Sure.
I guess 6 and 7.
Sure.
Yeah, the new success.
Dumbass. I got a couple. I can't forget Jeremy too. Jeremy is we saw our buddy Jeremy, who has helped us out with some of the rundown from down unders. He's not a dumbass. That's not what I'm saying. He's
Can I go first on dumbass? Because I got
sundress
one
category. All right, go for it.
Martin Truex Jr., because he is clearly out of.
You don't have to elaborate.
Dude, like, first, out of all the guys that made mistakes going into 7, he was the only one that I saw do it more than once. I know ever since Watkins Glen, Martin took the keys to the fucks to give department and threw them out the window. But my Lord, dude, he cleaned out like 7 different people going through 7. Like every lap, he was on the curb, beneath the curb, just flying straight off in there with no regard for whoever was in front of him. It was Ross one time. I think he just about took out Shane one time. Dude, I don't know. I know Martin's ready to be done and get in the woods, because I know hunting season's coming up here in North Carolina. But Martin, what was that, bro? That was bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Pierre. I'm gonna have to concur on that one. Yeah. He doesn't give a damn. He don't give a damn.
He was flying off in there a couple times.
He used all the fucks he gives as bait.
I think Ross was his brakes that one time, because he was going so fast in there.
I didn't say brakes. I said bait.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. All right. My dumbass is going. I got 2. I got well, I guess it's quite a few people. The 97 pit crew. Everybody that's not the driver, pretty much. Because one, lost a plethora of positions on every pit stop on Saturday. And 2, decided that yes, the best move is to put the best driver in the field on old tires with no shot when he needs to make the playoffs. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Shane said he was in agreement with it. Yeah, I'd be a little bit timid to come in and pit too. If 1, it was my first year in America, and 2, my pit crew's been donkey dick all day. But the plan, I mean, I get it. You want to win the race. Put 4 tires on the fucking car and let Shane Van Gisbergen go to work. I'm sorry. Like, he could have done it. He could have very least made the playoffs. He doesn't have to win the race. Probably wasn't going to win the race. Put 4 tires on the fucking thing and put the ball in his court. That just shows either a lack of trust in the driver or just you wanted another car to win. So, I don't know.
How many points did they miss by? 2.
8. Hello. I have Aster.
Hello.
Y'all don't know Aster, but I know Aster. Y'all know Aster, but yeah.
Hasn't Aster been on a video before?
Nice.
Probably, yes. Aster has been on video before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Jace?
Double D.
Yeah. Let me finish my last dumbass, and then I'm gonna be out of here. I went to Saeed's on Saturday night, and I was out out back talking on the phone, and there was these 2 people just straight up dry humping.
Like on the
straight
dance
up
floor, or like
no, like in a chair, straddle, yeah, whole thing. She puked on him. I witnessed this happen, bro.
Oh
I
my
cannot
God.
believe it. I was on the phone. I was like, I gotta call you back. I'm not intervening. I just gotta not be here for this. I swear to God, dude.
Oh, wow.
And not
That's-
5 seconds later, a guy in a Star Wars mask and a lightsaber walks by. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there at Saeed's, but you know, yeah,
It's weird.
yeah.
Really
I
weird.
almost sang Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
Oh God.
That would have been dumbass material.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. Y'all close out the show. Yeah, go fuck
Who are you
yourselves.
picking?
Oh shit.
I won the pick.
Wait, yeah.
Who did
Go.
you wait? Who did you weren't even on last week?
I was, and I
Oh,
said
were you?
AJ Allmendinger.
Oh
Bastard.
shit. Yeah, he beat you by a spot.
Okay, and I'll do dumbass real quick. Anyone who called the oval corners NASCAR 1, 2, 3,
On
or
God.
4, I didn't actually hear it much, and I haven't really heard the broadcast. I don't know how prevalent it was, but if anyone said it, they are a dumbass. All right, Chuck, pick.
Pick. Where are we going? Las Vegas.
Yes.
I already called my pick. I will stick with it. Christopher Bell.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with Joey Logano.
This guy.
Tyler Reddick.
All right, cool. This has been the Big Motor Small Blade podcast. He's been Buddy.
Go
He's been
fuck
Chuck.
yourselves.
I've been Seth. Bye, Gary.